Eli used to chase everything: promotions, approval, perfection. He thought happiness lived somewhere on the other side of success. But lately, even when he won, it didn't feel like winning. He'd spend his days running on a hamster wheel, climbing a ladder that seemed to have no top. His life was a checklist of accomplishments, but the check marks never brought the peace he was looking for. One evening, after a particularly draining day, he was sitting in his car, mindlessly scrolling through his phone, when he glanced out the window. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. It was a breathtaking sight he hadn't noticed in years. For the first time in months, he just stopped. And in that silence, a question surfaced. What if this is what I've been missing? What if the real prize isn't at the finish line, but in the moments I'm too busy to see? That evening sparked a change. On a whim, he decided to stop chasing promotions and start chasing sunsets. He packed a small backpack, tossed his phone into a drawer, and grabbed his old camera. As he was heading out, his best friend, Maya, leaned against the doorway, a skeptical smile on her face. "You sure about this?" "No plan, no map." He just smiled back, feeling a lightness he hadn't felt in ages. "Just one goal," he said. "Chase sunsets. See where they lead." Maya laughed, shaking her head, and handed him a small, old-fashioned compass. He took it, the cool metal feeling like a promise. "That's kind of the point." And with that, he got in his car and drove, leaving the city's skyline and all its demands behind him. The first stop was a quiet lake, miles from anywhere. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, the sky turned a fiery orange, reflecting perfectly on the still water. He set up his camera, ready to capture the moment. But then he hesitated. He lowered it, choosing to just watch, to just be. In that moment, the first lesson hit him. He had spent years chasing time, trying to beat it, manage it, conquer it, but he had never actually spent it. Here, by the lake, the world wasn't asking for deadlines or goals. It was just asking him to be present. As the golden light danced in his eyes, he felt a genuine, unforced smile spread across his face. He was learning to slow down. Days turned into weeks. He drove along winding coastlines, through vast, empty deserts, and up steep mountain roads. The journey wasn't just about the scenery. It was about the people he met. An old man fixing his van on the side of the road shared stories of his youth. A group of fellow travelers welcomed him to their campfire, sharing food and laughter under the stars. Every sunset was different, each one a new chapter in a story he was writing as he went. He was learning that a life doesn't need a rigid plan to have a profound purpose. One evening, sitting by the fire, one of the travelers asked him, "So, what are you running from?" He paused, thinking about his old life, the endless meetings, the constant pressure. Maybe, he said slowly, I'm running from the version of me that forgot to look up. Of course, not every day was perfect. Some days, rain poured from a thick, gray sky, hiding the sun completely. He'd drive through dense fog, the world a blur of muted colors. The sun would set, unseen, behind the clouds, and he wouldn't get his glorious photo. At first, this frustrated him. It felt like a failure, like he'd missed the whole point of the day. But then, sitting in his car with the rain drumming on the windshield, he learned his second lesson: let go. He realized that he was still trying to control the outcome, to force the beauty. But beauty isn't in control, lead in surrender. It's in knowing that some things aren't meant to be captured, only experienced. He leaned back, a small smile forming on his face. The sound of the rain was its own kind of sunset. When he finally returned home, he felt like a different person. The frantic energy was gone, replaced by a quiet calm. Maya was waiting for him on the porch, and she noticed the change immediately. So, she asked, her voice gentle, did you find what you were chasing? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked up at the sky, where another sunset was beginning to unfold, its colors dancing across his face. Not exactly, he replied softly, but I found what I didn't know I'd lost. He sat down on the steps, and Maya sat beside him. Together, in comfortable silence, they watched the day end. He finally understood. The meaning of life wasn't a destination hidden somewhere in the distance. It was painted across the moments we usually rush past, the moments right in front of us. Looking back, Eli realized the journey taught him everything. The meaning of life isn't about reaching the peak of the mountain. It's about the climb, the view, and the people you share it with. It's about noticing how endings can be just as beautiful as beginnings. He had started out chasing the light, hoping it would lead him to something bigger. But what he discovered was that chasing the light was really about learning to carry it inside you. As the final colors of the sunset faded into twilight, he took one last photo, then put the camera down for good. He didn't need to capture it anymore. He had found what he was looking for, and it was simpler than he ever imagined. Life's beauty isn't waiting somewhere out there. It's right here. Every time you remember to look up. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you like this video and subscribe for more content about finding beauty in the everyday.